Mic check. Mic check one. Mic check one. Check one. Check 1, 2.
It's been an interesting season for us, to say the least. Full of emotions, the ups and the downs. But through patience and persistence, oh yeah, we riding high tonight, boys. So y'all sit back and buckle up, 'cause we going for a ride.
Get out of here, pussycat. Go. Home.
Throughout the season, I had hunted harder this year than I'd hunted in several years before. We had put a ton of work into our lease, with this being the first year on the lease, and you know, we wanted to make something really special for the kids, not only that was easier for them, but also consistent and safe. You know, that's what was really important to me about our lease, was the safety, you know, the safety side of it. I set out to just be present at the lease, and also to try to gain as much information as I could for them, so that when they did come, that it would be an enjoyable time for them. Being able to see deer consistently was really important for me, and it's something that I didn't quite have when I was young, you know, their age. I've been pretty fortunate in my life to have some really good encounters with some good deer for our neck of the woods, for the kind of land that I've hunted in my life. And so taking anything off of our lease, really in my mind, I would just be taking it from my kids. There was one afternoon, me and Brett were both at the club that evening, and we had this one buck that we called Pretty Boy. He was a good 3.5-year-old buck. It's not really what we considered mature, but I told myself that if I was able to take him with a bow, then I would be happy with that. I've never been able to kill a buck with my bow, so to take a deer of his quality with the bow would be a major success for me. And lo and behold, he showed up the night that I hunted. So in my mind, I had already won, but as fate would have it, he was actually the one that won, because there was a pretty thick strip of trees in between me and him, and I never was presented with a shot. He was pretty consistent at coming in a certain direction, and you know, the night that he showed up, he decided to come. He decided to come in from a different direction. So,
Just I've got down here, Jaden's buck in the field.
this week at Jaden's was for me and the guys. you know, to get together, to have some camaraderie, to hang out on a fine piece of property and be able to see deer consistently and have those interactions. I had dedicated my whole season to my kids, and so this was the 4 or 5 days that it was for me.
Hey, look, fellas, see y'all dark.
I wouldn't trade anything for what was accomplished this year with my family and my kids at our Lease. We bonded and we shared a lot of memories from my childhood, stories that I had in my childhood with my dad all the way up, and letting them get to experience a lot of the same things that I got to experience, and it was really memorable. So all week long, we had kind of anticipated this specific day. We had hunted through some warm weather. We had hunted through some days that had some rain mixed in. But this particular day, the temperature is going to drop about 20 degrees overnight, and we felt that the best chance of success was going to be this day. So I'd been calling kind of progressively throughout the whole morning. They were responding really good to the calling that we had been doing all week long. This particular instance, it was probably around 7:45 or 7:50, and I did a rattling sequence. And the deer were already there to my left, but I didn't really know it at the time. Probably about 100 yards through the woods, but the rattling sequence kind of provoked them to move, which it made me catch a glimpse of the movement off to my left. I could tell that there were multiple deer, 3 or 4, of what I thought was 3 or 4 deer, but just catching glimpses of them running, I couldn't tell what they were, you know. They ran kind of up in front of me just a little bit, and then off into what we knew was their bedding area, which was super thick. It being kind of right on the edge of the property as well. A few minutes later, they came right back out into the area that was right in front of me, and when they came back out of their bedding area that time, I could tell that there were does that were being chased. I remember the fact that I could see him, and there were holes there that I could just catch glimpses of him. Trying to get the camera on him is, you know, hard enough, but doing that and also being able to stop him in a place to get a shot was what seemed like impossible. He chased them through that area and right back into the bedding, and just like that, you know, you have those thoughts that go through your head of, you know, hey, that's it. You know, I didn't know that they would come back out. or if they would come back out. But just as quick as I seen that it was him in that glimpse, he was come and gone. And then he turned around and made a scrape right there, and also hooked a tree. And you could tell, you know, he was pretty passionate about what he was doing. A few minutes later, he had them headed back in my general direction. And I remember seeing the lead doe split off and went, you know, a little bit different than what the other two does did. Whenever she split off, there was a pretty good hole there in front of me that she came through. And I knew at that point that if he made the decision to follow that doe instead of the other two, that it was going to present me with a shot. I remember glancing down and looking at the camera and seeing him in frame.
Let's go. Let's go. That's what Holden would say. Let's go.
I had a lot of emotions that flooded my mind as I came down the tree. But you always have those emotions that come up of, you know, am I going to disappoint the landowner? Am I going to disappoint Jaden? But at the end of the day, that I know that the size of the horns doesn't matter, and ultimately he was a mature buck. And Jaden's always said, you know, if it makes you happy, it makes me happy. I remember never getting a really good look at the buck, enough to be able to tell you, you know, he's this many inches or anything like that. But I remember having the mental picture of what I thought he was. And as I walked up to this buck, he ended up being exactly what I thought he was. He didn't get any smaller, and that's a really good feeling.
Oh yeah. That's what I thought he was.
Hey, bud.
Hey, man.
Hey.
Where you at?
I'm at the truck.
Oh, I guess I could have just kept walking.
Did you walk? Oh.
Jaden ended up being more than happy of the buck that got harvested, and it ended up being a week of hunting that I'll never forget. Being able to share that with Brett and Jaden down at his place, it was a really good week, and ultimately ends up being redemption to a year that we've had as a team. You know, we've had some tough calls, we've had some tough calls, we've had some close calls this year. We've struggled through a few things, but ultimately, you know, this is redemption.
Well, This season went out with a bang. Jaden, Brandon, I've enjoyed it, boys. Let's do it again. Sweet redemption.
Lightweight, compact, sold my saddle. You know, we do a lot of public hunting, so I figured, you know, what better way to travel into the deep swamps of South Alabama, you know, than this bad boy right here. So, you know, she's probably a good 40 pounds, you know, 6 foot tall, easy, you know. So I figured, you know, get rid of the saddle. Got a little stink bug on it, but it's good. Look.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's
got a backpack so you can carry it in with nothing else.
heck yeah.
You better be able to bench press 450.
God, it extends more. She'll go out to 7 foot, easy, you know. So like, if you're a bigger guy, you know, like JJ, he's like 9'4", you know. So if you're a bigger guy, it's an easy tote in. 45 pounds.
Put that back where you found it.
That's a good pallet.
Hey guys, we appreciate y'all finishing up the season with us. If you're new to the channel, this is ending our 2022-23 deer season here in Alabama from last year. So if you haven't seen the other episodes that leads up to this, a lot of it's going to make a lot more sense to you. So head on over, check those out. If you like what you saw and you like the content on this channel, stay with us. We got podcasts coming, more front porch turkey talks, more deer hunts, turkey hunts coming in the spring. A lot of good stuff going on here at HGC. We're also call makers. Go over, check us out. www.harmonygamecalls.com. Check out our game calls. We'll have sound files, new sound files updated as we progress in this business. So, yeah, guys, if you like what you see, hang around. Please give us a thumbs up. That helps all of our videos along. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button like it's 2023 style. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Harmony Game Calls. Custom handmade game calls. You can find us on the web at www.harmonygamecalls.com.